seriously. We'll start with, I'll just go straight to Collier's back.
All right, thank you. Handed out a packet. We have the, I included the schedule in there. I haven't really passed this out in a while because this schedule doesn't really show the various phasing that we have. Really, we're right on target as a project. This schedule really hasn't changed at all, but as you can see, that our flag of our current status has really kind of moved across, and we did just order a bunch of furniture for delivery this summer, last night. Placed the phase 2 order. The phase 1 order is showing up for occupancy in, for our occupancy in February. But the most recent order was placed, and that's for this coming summer. But big picture is we're right on target. We're still on target for occupancy of the addition come February break to move in. I believe that's the week of the 19th, February 19th, and then we'll go from there. Just some activities of recent activities to give you a sense of what's going on within the building is, and then on the site is additional, well, the beginning of the month when we still had some relatively warm temperatures, they did some concrete sidewalk installation, dumpster pad, got the enclosure around the dumpster location, installing some curbing, but really it's been too cold to do much of any exterior activities on the site recently. Within the building, though, there's been a lot of activity. The tile work within the bathrooms has been completed. All the plumbing fixtures are in. The glazed block or thin brick in the corridors has been installed for the most part. And they're starting to grout that. It looks really good. Painting throughout the addition is moving along well. It's they still have some additional coats to put on in some areas, but as you walk through, you get a sense of the color scheme and what it's going to look like. The gym equipment, the basketball hoops have been installed. While we were walking through today, the contractor was asking just to confirm location for the climbing ropes and those sorts of things. So that stuff is moving along well. They were putting up speakers within the gym as well today. So a lot of finish work is going on. The gym floor has been installed, and it was installed in the gym and then also up on the stage. The ceiling grid, where we have ceiling grid in the classrooms, you'll remember that we don't have a hung ceiling. It's just exposed structure, but the corridors, the admin area, some of those other areas where we do have a drop ceiling, that's been installed. Windows and skylights have gone in, have been tested, so we've gone through the testing process. The mechanical systems have been installed, but now they're getting wired and final connections, and they're getting ready to start up. All the startups are going to take place starting on January 17th, so a week from now they'll be starting up the boilers and the pumps and all those various items.
Can I be there for that?
Yeah, sure. So that's kind of what's been happening within the building. The fire pump house is essentially complete. What we have coming up, site work, it's really just some in the spring. We really can't do much now, but once we get a thaw, they'll do some final grading and planting, and in the end, we'll do the top coat of asphalt. But in the addition, over the next month, we'll be completing finishes, installing the flooring in the classrooms, corridors, admin area. Casework is on site. The mock-up room has been installed, and now the contractor is ready to start moving through the building with installing all the casework in the typical classrooms and admin area and so forth. Ceiling tiles will go in probably last, really, once you get everything above ceiling squared away and completed. The gym floor, like I said, has been installed, but they haven't sanded it and sealed it yet, waiting till the work in that area is done, so that they don't, if they do mar it, they can mar the raw product, not the finished product. And then we're scheduled to start the move on Friday, right before the February break. We have the movers lined up to come in that afternoon. It's a half a day, so they'll start at 1 o'clock and start moving boxes and moving furniture. So we're on target. It's really looking good.
When's the commissioning of the heating system, in September, or is it now?
Well, they've started passed out all the functional checklists and their sequences that they're gonna be reviewing. So it'll really start up with when they do the startups on the 17th, and they'll go through and they'll be here and monitor to make sure that factory reps are here to do the startup. But then performance testing and really putting it through its paces will probably be within the next few weeks after that. We were talking about it today at our job meeting, just about want to make sure that we get the testing and balancing report, so they balance the airflow and water flow in the system, so that once you turn the system on, that you're getting the right output of the heating system or cooling. Obviously, you can't do the cooling at this point, but the heating and electrical systems, all those things will be commissioned, put through their paces.
Everybody feels comfortable, the kids will be warm? If everybody's cold.
Yeah, I think so.
We'll let you know.
Yeah.
Cheryl, have you, made the plan for where everyone's going? What classroom, what teachers are getting, what classroom and all that stuff and?
Bill has, yeah.
Yep, you started all that, Bill, it's done.
Yep, it's been distributed,
Yep.
they all know where they're going, and,
What the
this,
plan
yeah,
is. Yep. Are they gonna be moving during their vacation, or do they get the week off and then they move when they get back? Like,
the plan is to start moving them on that Friday, so that they can get into their classrooms and set up at least their desks. That'll be our hope, and then the rest of the furniture can get moved over that break, and then when they come back, it'll be there.
Yeah, the intent is that they'll be boxing up their items now, hopefully doing a lot of purging, getting rid of a lot of stuff that happens to collect over the years. So then we get the movers in right away, and then they can start moving the boxes. Furniture will then come after that. That we have some areas where we're setting up a temporary library, so we still have some coordination to do with the media specialist to talk about, well, this is how much shelving we have, this is how much you'll be able to fit. And so they can go through and prioritize what they want to bring and what they want to put in storage. But yeah, the move should be pretty straightforward. You're just moving from one side of the building to the other, so it's all internal.
so when, I'm sorry, I'm already thinking about what's gonna happen in my schedule. When the kids get dropped off in the morning, so how are the parents gonna know about the new routines?
Same way we did it with the routines for this, start of this year. So we'll send out the maps and the information, and we'll have a parents' night for anybody that wants to come and hear it, which aren't, usually that many, but,
Right.
It'll be there for the people that wanna come. And then we'll just have a bunch of people out there helping like we did
Direct
on the
them,
first day,
yeah.
directing and things like that. Pretty much the existing area where parents are dropping off now is gonna be closed off to the public anyway, so we're not gonna be able to drive back there, so nobody's gonna get confused.
Right, it's gonna be all blocked off with barricades and everything, so.
And we'll be dropping off right in the main entrance in the front, so it's gonna be nice and easy, pull up, drop off, and pull away.
Right,
You have really true separation of the buses and the parents at that point, where they were still kind of using the same parking lot and still kind of working around here. The new drive that's closed off now, that loops around right in front of the building, the parents will come in and be able to come right back out that same entrance. And then the buses will use the new entrance off the road that they've been using currently.
right.
And then they'll pull off out through the high school exit. So completely separate, it will make it, should be easier than it is now.
What about all the cars and trucks and stuff that's out front now?
Well, that'll be moved to the back.
That's gonna all go in the back, okay.
Yeah, there might be some storage containers there for, periods, but until we really get to the spring, until they can dress that stuff up, you may have some of that stuff, on those, non-paved areas. Our construction trailers will stay where they are throughout. But they're gonna try and move as much as they can to the backside.
It's a lot of action all in 1 week.
Not really,
No.
because a lot of that stuff, they have a lot to do to get to that point, but that week it won't be that bad. It's really getting to that point. I mean, the building, it looks great, they've done a lot, but there's a lot to do. A lot of details, a lot of finishes, finishing up. But, they feel comfortable that they're gonna be able to make those dates, and they've been tracking pretty well and don't have any major concerns, so.
Right, congratulations on staying on time. That's amazing. That's amazing.
Now, in those spaces, you mentioned library. How about, enough space for art, music, special
So,
ed classrooms?
yep,
New?
and when we, just for temporarily, art is gonna take place in the cafeteria. We'll just share that space, cause she only has classes at East Meadow in the morning. So she can use the half of the cafeteria for art, and music is gonna use one of the kindergarten classrooms, the library is gonna be in one of the kindergarten classrooms, and, PE, of course, will have the brand new gym.
What library?
The existing library will move into one of the kindergarten classrooms. So Lori Jewett's gonna take some of what she needs and the Chromebook cart that she has and do her library and computers in an existing kindergarten classroom. So we've put a physical spot with every person's name. Tim and I sat down and probably did that a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And then we sat down and revised it again about a month ago. And then I handed it out to the staff last week, so they all can see.
Yeah, so we've had boxes showing up, for a few months now, and then we'll get another request for more boxes, and so we'll get some more boxes there. And so we've gone through that process a number of times. So there's a lot of stuff that's been packed up, going through and touring the building a week or so ago, going through some of those storage areas off the corridors. There's those big, long sliding doors with a bunch of storage. So the staff has been going through there and organizing that and packing up what's appropriate, and it's really been, they've made a lot of progress. So it should make the move, there's always gonna be some bumps in the road, but it should make it go pretty smooth. Setting up the classrooms, that's another story. It's a new space, the teacher's gonna wanna, make it theirs for the time being, and that'll take some time, but I think the week's time for us to do what we need to do is more than enough. What will be hard is clearing out the existing building to make way for the contractor to do their renovation work. So that'll be more time consuming than actually just moving the teaching materials and the furniture over. Any other questions about any of the progress to date, or what's gonna be upcoming, or? Okay, then just financially, we're still doing great. We're on target. We haven't processed any new change orders. To date, we only have spent about $6,000 out of contingency. And we have a third change order that we're kind of compiling. In reality, we've done a lot of back and forth. We've taken some credits and we've done some ads, but the net is $6,000 to date. This third one will start to really then push us into the spending more out of it, taking more out of the contingency. But it's all been relatively minor stuff, and we've been able to keep control over, when the contractor might ask for something, we push back, and then eventually come to an agreement on the cost and scope of the change. But we're in good shape. Any questions on any of the finances here? It hasn't really changed much, so I didn't go through the numbers, but,
Yeah, if I'm reading this correctly, is it, so the project total is 32.4, you got 28.4 basically contracted out, am I reading that correctly?
yes.
So you got 4 million in, I'll use the word contingency, but you got 4 million remaining, right? 2 of which is contingency, 2.3?
Yeah, and then you have another 600,000 owner contingency.
Okay.
So essentially, you have about 3 million in contingency, and then the balance is in other line items that maybe we spend as we go, or we've budgeted, but we haven't signed a contract for that work, whether it be furniture or whether it be, you know, materials testing that we kind of pay as we go for that service. But yeah, that's essentially correct.
The budget was adjusted, right, recently, by MSBA?
No, it wasn't adjusted, it was just that when you signed the project funding agreement, then your budget was based on estimated costs.
Right.
And so then, once the bids came in, you had actual costs. And so what we did is they do an amendment just to recognize that, you know, what the bids came in at. So, well, I guess you're right, yes, they did adjust it, but our values, our total project budget didn't change, it's just the lines within that have changed. So the construction cost went down, and we rolled that money down below into the contingency. So that contingency is percentage-wise higher than it might normally be, just because we had some favorable bidding environment at the time.
They're only gonna let us send a percentage based on the cost.
I'm sorry?
They're only gonna let us spend a percentage based on the construction cost.
Well, they will not participate in, I mean, they have that whole 3011 form, which kind of outlines what they'll participate in as far as grant reimbursement. So contingency, it's a very low percentage that they'll participate in. So most of anything that you spend out of contingency would not be reimbursable.
I think they will reimburse up to 2% of the construction cost for contingency.
Yeah, it's really pretty minor. So really, anything over and above that is really, you spend 100, it's on you guys 100%. Yeah. And there's a lot of other things that they only participate up to a point. For instance, in site work, cap that at 8%. So anything above that, they don't cover. You know, in abatement costs, they'll cover maybe pipe insulation, but they don't cover floor tile. So there's a bunch of different things that they will and won't cover. And so when they talk about your percentage of reimbursement, it's that percentage of eligible items, not of the total.
So just to make sure that I understood this, any expenditure out of contingency, the reimbursement is minuscule on that one, that's what you were saying. But if, let's say, some portion of the contingency is not spent, does it stay with the town? Does it go back to the state, or is it?
Doesn't go back to the state, it just becomes an unexpended amount. And if we were talking, we only borrowed 90% of our share of this project. If we can get, not spend the total amount of our share, I would like to hopefully not have to borrow the final 10% for 25 years, okay, which is about 1.5 million at this point. Okay, and I'd rather give it back to the taxpayers to show that we were responsible in building this building, not just building a wish building.
So it stays with us?
Yes.
Yeah, when the MSBA went through and did the amendment based on the actual bid numbers, they adjusted the maximum grant that you could receive based on the lower bid numbers. So they've already reduced what they're gonna kick in. And really, it's really a reimbursement program, so you have to spend the money before they would even reimburse you for anything. So once you're over their maximum amount, it's all on you. And it's not that the state is taking it back, they're just not gonna contribute.
Thank you.
And that's all I had on, from our update. Unless I forgot something.
Jaywalk. That's a new one, Mark. Yeah, we don't have too much to add, actually, because Tim already talked about furniture. Because he had to send out all the POs literally last night. Yeah, the furniture, except for maybe a few odds and ends, is ordered. So the furniture is all pretty much ordered, but the delivery is phased. So again, we're just getting areas in the addition, such as the admin area, the gym office, the kitchen office, things like that will come in February. Everything else will come in the summer.
Phone system? I'm being asked a lot about phones.
Right, well, I'm assuming the phones will be in.
We need
In
phones
the
in order to
addition.
occupy the building.
Yeah.
So they'll be up and running for the February break.
So phones are part of base building, although we've had a lot of interaction with our technology consultant, Scott Goodrich. So on the technology front, in FF&E, we're still fine with the budget. So remember, a couple of meetings ago, we did raise the FF&E budget to make sure we got what we needed. We're tracking fine on that. In fact, we're under. Technology, still some unknowns. So technology, unlike furniture, we want to wait as long as possible because of technology continuing to update, and we want everything to be the same and come at the same time for consistency. So the things that have been ordered and purchased are the network core equipment that will go into the server room. That work's going to start in the next couple of weeks, so that again, there's a smooth transition when you move from East Meadow to the addition and continue to have your technology working for you. And then in February, Scott from Advance, our technology consultant, will, working with David Lukaskevitz, will continue to receive quotes for the remainder of the technology equipment package. So as of now, on budget with technology, and seems to be moving in the right direction for schedule as well.
In February, is the fire alarm system and alarm system all gonna be up and running,
Well,
inspected?
Has to be. Yeah, for occupancy,
okay.
yeah.
So who is doing the fire alarm system?
What do you mean, who's installing it?
Who's gonna inspect it? You guys, or are we bringing somebody in?
Fire department, yeah, they have to sign off.
Okay, and if there's devices that are not working, that's all on your side?
What do you mean?
Yeah.
You mean
Say a
on the-
device
on
doesn't
the
work.
renovation side?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they'll take off, they'll kind of bisect the building, so the new system will be up and running in the addition. And as the contractor is working on the existing building, those will be taken offline.
Okay. About the monitoring and everything, you still have to get our guy from town to do that? Because it has to be tied into the fire department, who's doing that?
Well, they'd be working through Griffin, the electrician, to coordinate that.
So you don't need the guy I have right now, that we have contract with for the schools, for alarm, or,
To program it?
not to program, just
To monitor?
to monitor it?
Oh, yeah,
to get it-
it'll need to be monitored.
Okay, so do you need his information, or do you have it already? New England Security?
You know, if you could just send us an email with that, that'd be great.
Because he does the fire alarm and the security, they do the monitoring. They have a
Yeah, I'm
contract.
sure that Griffin is working with them
Okay,
now, but we'll double check on that, if you could just,
okay. And automated logic, I've tried calling 3 times and I haven't gotten a response back.
Yeah, they've been out on site, they were on site today.
Okay, 'cause
Yeah.
once it goes online,
They just don't have automated responses.
yeah.
well, what we've been talking about is that, look, until you own the building,
Right.
they need to operate it. So, until it's ready and you've been trained and it's been turned over,
So the turning over is in February.
well, this is a phased project, so
Okay.
it's a little different.
So I just wanna know, like.
Yeah, no.
because I know when the teachers get in there, they're gonna say we're cold. If I don't have IP addresses, subnet masks, anything, I can't do anything on the computer system.
And we don't want you to.
Who's, okay,
That's,
I'm good with that.
The contractor is responsible for operating the building
Okay.
until it gets turned over. So we will be turning over a portion for occupancy, but the system, you won't have been trained on the system, it won't have been up and running for any period of time yet, so you can't be expected to be checking and logging into the system and manipulating things, and we don't want you to.
Okay.
We want automated logic to do all
So
that.
they're gonna call Bill,
Yeah,
and Bill's gonna,
then he'll,
Let us
just
know.
like
Send me an
anything
email.
We're in
else.
contact, we're in
That's
contact
it,
with
yeah.
them daily.
Right.
Yeah, so there'll be a myriad of things.
well, you know where I'm coming from though, because it's, you know, things are, there's gonna be glitches and
Right.
this isn't gonna be working. I just wanna know what you need me to do and what I need to do in the building.
Let me know.
If you
Just
hear
like
about
with the
stuff,
kitchen stuff, anything, just let us know.
yeah, I mean, what we'll be doing is we'll be working with Bill, but what we've done in other buildings is we do something very simple, and we put a clipboard on the front desk in the main lobby, or in the main office, and, with a pre-printed form about what are your issue, and we'll ask that Bill triage it. Is it a true construction issue, or is it really an operations of the building issue? Is it, a teacher preference issue? But then the things that are true, either warranty items or, something that has to do with a contractor, then we'll address. And,
So all of February, I mean, I don't have to be involved in the heating portion of it,
No.
okay?
You don't want to
March,
be trained
I
on it and look at it, so they can give you viewer access
Yep.
to get in there,
Well,
and just to get familiar with
I
it.
worked at Automated Logic, I did programming.
Right.
So I know,
Yeah.
I do know the
Yeah.
system. But I just wanna make sure that when people are complaining, either they're hot or cold.
Right.
No,
Okay.
we don't wanna have a finger pointing. Well, John must have changed all the settings, and that's why
Yeah,
it's not
well,
working. You know, we don't want that. We want the contractor to set it up.
Okay.
We want it to be tested and commissioned and make sure that it's operating properly, and that they are the only ones in there,
We're manipulating anything.
yeah, until it can be finalized and then turned over.
So based on that statement, the warranty is not going to start until September.
Yes, I believe that that's stated in our contract, that the warranty is upon completion.
Significant completion or completion?
Substantial
Substantial
completion.
completion.
From that point on, we start our 1 or 2 year warranty or whatever the item is.
Yeah, typically you have a one-year warranty for the building in general, but then the different components have different lengths,
Okay.
yeah.
And when you turn over the heating system, do I have to do anything with the oil tank or propane tank on my side?
The only thing we might need to do, and I'm not sure if, when the tank was installed, if we put any oil in it. Obviously, in
Oh,
order,
it's filled.
you filled it.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna have to fill it in another week or so.
Oh, the new tank? Are you operating off the new
We're
tank?
running on a new tank. Yeah, the old tank's gone, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah, we're running on a new tank, so
Yeah.
I've been, yeah.
The reason I say that is usually we need, in order to start up the system, we need to get oil in it, and so we might look
Yeah,
for you to that, but
I
if,
just stuck it, there's like 4,000 gallons in it now.
yeah. Yeah, no, there
so
shouldn't,
good.
you shouldn't have to do
Okay.
anything. What we did talk about is, once the students move in and over that, February break, that, if there's anything salvageable or anything that you wanna salvage out of the existing building, existing, mechanical room, you had mentioned there are a few things, that we would need to get you in right away to be able to get those things out, because once they start taking things apart, I can't,
Okay.
you know.
In the propane tank, we're gonna be running on propane for one of the boilers.
Right.
So I gotta make sure I have enough in that.
Right.
Okay.
People can make adjustments to heating during this transition. Are they on site?
You can do it, they can do it remotely, but usually they're on site, because they're gonna be,
I'm only asking because if, it's a brand new building, until we adjust to
Yeah,
different
everything's
temperatures and
IP
stuff, okay.
address. I can do, once I'm up and running, I'll be able to do it on my phone. The well,
yeah, it's warm in there now.
Yeah. Anything on the well.
It's not even up and running.
Yeah,
We're still waiting for a DP
okay.
to come through
I
with.
still have to get it, I have to get Linda in there from Whitewater to
Yeah.
come and we gotta flush it for a good hour, is what the gentleman for DEP wants. It's 1,000 feet of pipe, he wants it running for quite some time.
Yeah, the DEP wanted some additional testing, and so we've agreed to do that, and we've lined it up, but DEP hasn't provided us with any of the details on how, they want to flush the system before doing the testing. So we've been asking them, how long do you want it to be flushed before we test, and they can't provide that, so.
Until you create an ice rink out there.
Yeah, so we're kind of, we're ready,
Right.
and they keep on saying, well, you know what, we want you to test this, but they won't, we haven't been able to get
I'm thinking a
all
good
the
hour,
information.
wide open, I mean, I'll have to go it out.
I just wanna do it
put the words
once.
out.
Right.
Yeah, me too.
It's costing, there's a significant cost to this, so I don't wanna do it multiple times. We've already done it multiple times at their request, and the bill is adding up, so I don't wanna do it more than we have to.
What's the expense, just curious?
It's about $30,000 to date.
Oh, God.
But the problem is the level that it's coming in at is below the EPA standard. So, but DEP is making us continue to test and test and test, even though we're coming in
He had a
below
lot
what
of
the
other
EPA
things that
issue
he needed
level
to be
issue
at.
is.
Before he would do the, sign it over, a couple of little things which have all been taken care of, so I just need to know when he's there, I'll get Linda there and we'll flush
I'll
it.
keep you
And
posted as soon as we know
Okay.
when he's coming out, I'll let you know.
if she has to do a couple testings on her side too.
Yeah, it's kind of frustrating, and, you know, it's the authority having jurisdiction, and they'll bless us, bless it and tell it that it's okay to run, and so we're kind of at their
Was
mercy.
the wellhead cut down, do you know?
I haven't been back there recently.
18 inches, I can go back tomorrow.
Yeah, I
but
haven't been way back there.
He
either,
needs
but-
it, cut down to 18 inches, and they said they want a fence around the well head itself. Cause it's just, anybody, any kid can, anybody.
Right.
Who is they, the
The
DEP?
DP. the
Oh, did
gentleman
they
that
send
came-
you something? Did he have a send a report?
I was out there with him, or you, no, you
No, it
you
wasn't
weren't
me,
there.
no.
We went out there with him, and we just walked around, and he just said, I need to have this, 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 and this done before he would even come back.
But the contractor was with you when he was there?
Correct.
Yeah, so
Right.
they have that
Yeah.
list, okay.
Yeah.
I just, you know, I just don't want a lot of people to say, oh, I told him to do this, but
Right.
without any
No,
real,
I got you.
Is
No, it was
there
all written.
anything in writing for them?
It was, Colliers, I think, took it all down.
Colliers or Fontaine?
Fon-
Was
They
it
both-
Jason who was out there with you?
Yes, they're both out
The
there.
project
Yeah, I
manager
think
and
Jason,
Derek?
well, Jason has been working with them
Yeah.
Yeah.
from Fontaine as far as
I
their
guess to the extent
checklist.
whoever is talking to DEP at this point, it's cleanest to have it be Jason.
Yeah.
Right.
So
It
that
has been.
you were,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
We'll just
Yeah, I
make
haven't talked to
sure
him, it just.
multiple people aren't.
The wellhead being cut down to 18 inches is a must.
Yeah.
I know that. He was not, happy with, it sticking yay high out of the ground. Don't know why, but that's what he said.
yeah, I mean, if he provided a list of his comments
Okay.
upon his site visit, then they'll all be addressed.
I'll go back there tomorrow, I'll look at it
Okay.
and see if it's been cut.
Any other business to come before the committee?
Oh, could
Yes.
I ask about the school name? Sorry,
Yes.
Cheryl.
Absolutely.
Is that what you're gonna
Yes,
say?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, so we got confirmation from the Department of Education.
Okay,
It can stay the name, and it
Okay.
also can stay its number, which is bizarre, because that has not been the case before. But my question is, on the DESI website, the school name for both of the elementary schools is simply East Meadow or West Street. And the vote I believe you took was to name it what was on the state
The vote was to name it as it is. I made the motion.
as
The
it
vote was to
is,
name
and I thought it was as it.
That would have been East Meadow School. They
So-
didn't want to change the name of the
Okay,
school.
that's fine, I just wanted
That's
clarification
not
that
West
that's
Street, it was just to be East Meadow School.
East Meadow School. There you go.
no elementary. Just
No.
checking.
No.
It's extra letters, need to know.
Nope.
East Meadow School, okay.
We want to save on the lettering, no.
We should have named it Bob, I guess.
Okay, thank you. That's great.
Any other business to come before the next meeting?
The 8th is okay with me. February 8th, second Thursday of the month.
So that's just prior to, moving?
And we don't run into Valentine's Day again, like we did last year.
That was only a problem for Kristen, if I remember correctly.
February 8th.
So is that February eighth at 6:30?
Must be.
Yeah, February 8th at 6:30, that's it.
Thank you very much, sir. I'll use it next time.
Motion to adjourn, unless anybody wants to stay around.
I don't know.
Alright,
I had a pen in my pocket today.
one of you seconded, all those in favor, aye, bye.